That's
And
hot.
I was in the city, and actually it was perfect. It was lovely, and couldn't have been better. Perfect summer day in the city.
It was only about 65 yesterday.
It was great. It felt good, though. The sun was out. I mean, I'm so used to the fog during this time of year. But you're in San Jose. Was it scorching there? How did you do?
Yesterday I was actually at Stern Grove.
Oh, that's right.
And it was about 65. We got to see the sun a little bit, and then, kind of the fog and the clouds moved back in.
Part of the element.
But it was beautiful.
Oh, you lucked out, because it can get really cold.
Yeah, it's the usual pattern where this time of year the heat waves only affect inland parts of the Bay Area and along the coast. You kind of stay in that free air conditioning, and everybody gets some relief as we head through the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the big picture pattern. And the heat dome is drifting away from the position where it directly impacted the Bay Area. But it's not going away entirely. It's still going to be cooking other parts of the region. We're going to get a couple of days worth of slightly below average temperature sticking around through Wednesday, but then that heat dome is already going to be building back towards us. So as we look at the 10-day outlook from temperatures in Livermore, which is going to have some of the wilder swings on the temperature roller coaster, you can see all the ups and downs. A couple days of below average temperatures, and then back up into the upper 90s as we finish the work week, still mid 90s for the first half of the weekend, and then a brief dip once again back down into the 80s, near normal temperatures by Monday, and then another climb as we head into early next week. So it's just going to be like this with that heat dome kind of pulsing in intensity. Whenever it gets close enough, we see those temperatures reaching back up into the 90s, if not up to around triple-digit territory. When it drifts away, then we return to near normal or slightly below normal temperatures. Right now, we're in the process of seeing the heat back down a little bit. Let's take a look outside, and a little bit of haze on the horizon. We'll talk about that momentarily. Temperatures are still hot, but not as hot as they were yesterday, and they will continue going down for the next couple of days. Still 90s in Concord and Livermore, 80s in San Jose and Santa Rosa, into the 60s right now in San Francisco and in Oakland. Pretty nice weather around the Bay and along the coast today. Even saw some sunshine right along the coast. The fog will redevelop and try to spread inland. The weight of the atmosphere on top of us is still sufficient enough that it's going to be a pretty compact marine layer, and the fog should dissipate quickly in those inland valleys, backing up to around the Bay by mid-morning, backing up to the coast as we head towards early afternoon. We are going to see temperatures pretty close to normal for this time of year by early tomorrow morning, mostly in the mid to upper 50s. I think just the very warmest spots staying barely above 60 degrees. So some relief. Even the overnight hours were pretty warm over the weekend. Now we're back to pretty close to what's normal for this time of year. Stronger onshore breeze is going to kick in tomorrow, and that's going to help to continue that cooling trend. The onshore breeze is going to be at its strongest during the afternoon. We'll see some gusts in the 20 to 25-mile-an-hour range, a little bit stronger right along the coast. Should feel pretty refreshing out there, though, by late afternoon. Usually that onshore breeze means a continuation of good air quality. That may not be the case, though, as we head through the next couple of days, because there's smoke blowing down towards us from what's called the flat fire that's burning in southern Oregon. And some of that is going to be blowing into the skies around the Bay Area, kind of traveling down the coast, and then the onshore breeze sends it over our heads. But over our heads, most of this is going to be elevated in the atmosphere as opposed to at ground level where we have to breathe it. We'll keep an eye on air quality for the next several days. Right around 60 along the coast tomorrow, 70s to around 80 down the peninsula, right around 80 in San Jose, and then a little farther into the 80s, farther inland in the Santa Clara Valley. Tri-Valley hits the low to mid 80s. Some of the hottest spots in the Delta approaching 90 degrees, but when the hottest spots are around 90 in July, we're doing fine. Low 60s in San Francisco, upper 60s for Oakland and the East Bay, a mix of upper 70s and some low 80s inland in the North Bay until you go much farther inland Mendocino County and Lake County, more likely to reach up into the 90s, if not close to 100 degrees once again. The warm up later this week will not be all that substantial around the Bay, as you would expect. Near 70 in San Francisco, upper 70s for Oakland and the East Bay Friday and Saturday, while those inland temperatures are going to return into the 80s and 90s on a widespread basis. Some of the hottest days on Friday will push temperatures close to triple digits inland in the East Bay. In fact, as close as we can get with a high of 99, but then backing down to those near normal temperatures by Monday of next week. And of course, right along the coast, well, very little change. Temperatures just kind of hovering in the low to mid 60s, as you also would expect. No Sky July is going to be back as the fog reasserts itself.
We knew it would.
Yes, it never goes away for long.
No, it doesn't.
Look at that. We almost got 100 by next weekend.
I know. It's
99 on Friday.
The spread is crazy. When you see 50s and 60s in one spot and then not that far along the coast.
All the Skittles colors on the map.
That's right.
Yep.
This is your Super Bowl.
It is.
Thanks, Paul.
Yep.